It's arguable that Japanese role-playing games are more popular now than ever before. With the rise in popularity, you'll see companies try their hands at new intellectual properties and try to capture the magic of modern JRPGs. Now, Lankar's Games is releasing their new tactical JRPG called Monark. The project is led by ex-Shin Megami Tensei developers and promises a dark, mysterious adventure that separates itself from other games in the genre. So, do they hit the mark? Well, yes and no. While Monark itself is a fascinating game, I'm going to discuss what is holding the title back from being a great game. Thank you NIS America for the review code. Let's get started.
He seems alright.
Yeah. You're okay. You're really okay.
The story of Monark takes place inside a Japanese high school called Shin Mikado Academy. The school is separated from the outside world by a barrier, and the students trapped inside are going mad because of mysterious mist. As the protagonist, you'll be fighting demons in the other world, a place that exists outside the normal realm with your 4 different companions. Honestly, the plot can seem simple, but the story unravels in a way that you're better off experiencing yourself rather than me explaining it to you. While the various villains you fight during the game can range from unmemorable to intriguing, the main draw of Monarch's story is the 4 companions you meet. One of my favorite parts of Monarch is getting to know the 4 different characters. Nozomi Hinata is the first party member you'll meet, a third-year student and an ex-member of the student council. The writing presents her in a way that you'll instantly be drawn to her character. She's charming and has her funny moments as well as her funny quirks. Ryotaro Date is a second-year student whose abrasive personality can get him into trouble. While he can come off as brash and inappropriate, I found myself cheering for him. Kokoro Surugudai is a quiet yet careful first-year student. At first I didn't care much for her character, but her arc is honestly one of the most exciting aspects of the story for me, and the writing does an excellent job of fleshing out a character. The final companion you'll meet is Shinya Yuta, a calm and collected middle schooler with a mysterious personality. All of the main characters of Monarch are unique and fleshed out enough to where you'll want to keep playing the game to explore their personalities. I know I've been very positive with the story, but I do have some issues with the way it's told and the dialogue surrounding it. For one, some of the villains that you meet can come off as unmemorable and their stories generic. There are some bright spots, such as the villains in Act 1 of Shinya's and Kokoro's stories, but the rest can be summed up as a run-of-the-mill generic anime villains. Speaking of acts, the story is divided into 3 acts, with 2 acts per companion and a final finale act. The pacing of these games can be excruciating at times, as dialogue can be very boring and repetitive. A lot of things that are expressed in the dialogue of the game can stretch on, repeating the same thing over and over and over again until you finally reach the end of the conversation. There were plenty of times that I had the auto dialogue button on and my TV screen dimmed because there wasn't any activity on my Switch for an extended amount of time because of the dialogue. It was very easy for me to space out during the conversations. I had to look at the log quite a few times because I would just get so uninterested in the dialogue and forget what's happening. That's not to say it's all uninteresting. I just find a lot of dialogue in the game as filler that doesn't add anything to the overarching story.
No mercy. By your command.
There is a lot to unpack with Monarch's gameplay. Let's talk about the combat first. Of course, it's a tactical JRPG with a lot of the common elements you'd find in any game of the genre, but Monarch adds a different twist to its combat. You and your party of up to 4 members will fight along each other and play off each other's skills to defeat your enemies. Each party member has 2 different gauges in addition to their health bar. These gauges are your mad and awake percentages that increase as you battle. Each special attack you do will increase your mad gauge, which if maxed out can cause your party member to go crazy and turn against the team. Meanwhile, your awake gauge will increase every time you're attacked by an enemy or as you use your resolve skill. If your awake percentage is maxed out, your character will go into an awakened state where all of your stats are briefly increased. In addition, you can also resonate with another party member for a certain amount of turns, which will grant both party members to share the same skills and stat buffs and debuffs. It can seem a bit confusing at first, but the combat is incredibly satisfying and addictive. It's my absolute favorite part of the game. Unfortunately, there is one significant drawback for the combat, and it's the difficulty. Enemy encounters can be uneven and frustrating at times. forcing you to grind for multiple hours to rank up your party in the false hope that you'll be able to defeat the next wave of enemies. Thankfully, the game has additional areas apart from the story battles that you can grind to rank up, but the process can be long and mind-numbing at times. I love the combat, but sometimes it can feel like a chore to just prepare for the next battle. The level spikes can be ridiculous, and the difficulty can be off the chart, even for casual difficulty, which can also be a struggle. There is another aspect with the gameplay that I dislike as well. The way in which you level up your characters is very non-traditional and doesn't feel natural to me. The way you level up your party is through spirit points that you acquire through battle. With these spirit points, you're able to spend them on special abilities for your characters, which is directly linked to leveling up system. For example, whether you spend 50 spirit on a move or 5,000 spirit on a move, your level will increase every time you acquire a new skill. This is an odd move to me and makes me question why the developers wouldn't go for a more natural EXP leveling up system that you earn through your progression in battle. Another aspect of gameplay outside the combat includes exploring Shin Mikado Academy, and I'm going to be honest, it's not that exciting. The high school itself isn't the most interesting. The most interesting aspect of the exploration is going into the mist that shrouds the school. As you traverse the mist, your mag gauge will increase. If your mag gauge is maxed out while traversing the area, you'll end up going mad, blacking out, and find yourself in the doctor's office with no consequences, which kind of hinders the sense of urgency the player can feel while exploring. As you explore the academy, you'll also be solving puzzles to complete the areas and go to the next battle. These puzzles can range from mind-numbingly easy to frustrating at times, so make sure you're acquiring every piece of paper and every memo in the academy so you don't get lost like I did at some points. The last thing I want to touch on when it comes to Monarch's gameplay is its performance. I reviewed the game on Switch, but I also played the demo on PS5. On Switch, the game can also have some blurry assets and character models while playing docked. The gameplay is locked at 30 FPS on Switch, and mostly never wavers other than a few hiccups here and there. However, outside of combat, performance of the game can struggle in the overworld on Nintendo Switch, especially in handheld mode. While the game isn't all that demanding in terms of assets and special effects, I find it weird that the game struggles to keep a steady 30 FPS, even with the limitations on the Switch. The PS5 version, however, is the exact opposite. It's pretty much locked at 60 FPS and never wavers and includes crisp graphics. If you're going to play the game and you have the choice between the Switch version and any other version of the game, please do not stick with the Switch version.
I won't let anyone die!
Let's get this out of the way first. The English dub of Monarch is better than it has any right to be. Each voice actor fits their role perfectly, especially Kokuro's and Nozomi's. The dub does not miss a beat, and it's a great surprise. As for the soundtrack, the music of Monarch can be a mixed bag. The boss battle music shines bright here as each boss battle theme is incredibly produced. It can range from rock to Japanese trap music. Just listen to this.
Get ready.
The rest of Monarch's soundtrack beyond the boss battle music can range from generic to good. Nothing much more to talk about in this category, so let's move on to the presentation. Let me just be honest here, Monarch isn't the prettiest looking game. The graphics can seem a little dated, and Shin Mikado Academy isn't the most exciting place to explore. However, where the presentation excels is during the section of the game where you're exploring the areas covered in mist. The game gives you an eerie feeling as you traverse these levels with creepy music. The menus are pretty bare bones as well, including the battle system menu and the level up menus. Nothing really stands out in this case, with a very standard approach to visuals. Nothing bad, but nothing exciting. Honestly, I wish I had more to say here, but I don't.
I'd advise against picking up any odd calls. Unless you enjoy your blood strewn on the walls.
Monarch is an excellent concept for a game. Its take on psychological horror, combined with great combat and a fun cast of characters, should be an absolute home run for JRPG fans. However, it's a game that's not suited for everyone. Its shortcomings can overshadow the many positives that the game definitely has. And sitting at more than 50 hours, the game can overstay its welcome with a long dialogue and grinding gameplay. While definitely nowhere near a perfect game, Monarch is a good game that, while not succeeding on every front, has potential. I can see a sequel doing extremely well and fixing these glaring issues. Until then, Monarch is a game best enjoyed at a discount. I cannot fully recommend the $60 asking price unless you're a die-hard tactical JRPG fan. So guys, that is my review of Monark. Thank you so much for watching it. I'd like to thank NIS America again for the review code. If you play Monarch, what do you think? I hope I didn't sway your opinion in buying the game. This is just my thoughts on it. Don't take my thoughts at face value. Leave a comment down below saying what you think of the game if you played it already, if you're going to buy the game, and if you like the video, leave a like as well. It helps everyone find the channel, and it's great for me. I'll see you guys in the next video. King out.
未来の僕らを救える挑戦状特に気づいてる自身のローエンド未だに突き進んでるだけもけもお前の汚れた脳へ届けよおかげさまで慣れたわまるで自分が描くその